Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the class of C333 Environmental Engineering 2. Uh, Today we will discuss on the sewage treatment. Okay, so the method of sewage treatment, the technology that those are used, and then eventually we will proceed to the mathematical formulation and design of sewage treatment plant. So if you look at the purpose of sewage treatment, it is actually to stabilize sewage without causing odor or nuisance and without endangering public health. So stabilize sewage without causing odor. So sewage causes odor. You know this. And sewage causes sewage contains pathogen. So this is dangerous to public health. So we will stabilize the sewage in such a way so that we can safeguard public health as well as we can prevent causing odor and nuisance by the sewage. And ultimately our objective is to prevent pollution of the environment. Prevent pollution of the environment. So what is sewage? Sewage is the wastewater, right? That is carried by the sewer. The steps in sewage treatments are separation of solids from the liquid. As you know that sewage contains both solid part and liquid part. So in our first step of sewage treatment is to separation of these solids from the liquid. In step 2, treatment and disposal of liquids. Treatment and disposal of liquid, this wastewater. Liquid is the wastewater. And then treatment and disposal of solids. Okay. If you look at the flow diagram of sewage treatment, you'll see that sewage treatment consists of a series of steps. A series of steps, not a single steps, a series of steps. First of all, we go through, this is the raw sewage. We perform preparatory treatment on this. And then we perform the primary treatment. And then to make the water clearer or to make the water better treated, we go for secondary treatment. And then we dispose the treated water, the treated water. And we get sludge in the process of secondary and primary treatment. We collect that sludge and then we treat this and then we dispose it safely. So sludge. When you treat water, okay, you may get sludge, like some solid material. Are you following me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
It's like a slime. So this is called sludge. Basically, these are the pollutants. If you remove them from the water during the process of wastewater treatment, then you get the sludge. SLUDGE sludge. So let's look at the steps, each of the steps in detail. So preparatory treatment, this one. Here we remove coarse, suspended, readily settleable and floating matters including oils and grease using screens, cutting screens, drift chamber and skimming tank. That means here we separate solid from the liquid in preparatory treatment. Okay, so in this preparatory treatment, we separate coarse, suspended, readily settleable, and floating matters from the water, including oil and grease. What are the tools and technology we can use? We can use a screen. This is the screen in the sectional view. This is the screen in the plan view. So as you can see, this is a screens, Bangla chaknir moto. So as the water tries to pass through, the solid matters will be captured here, and the water will be separated from the solid. Additionally, we can use cutting screen or comminutor, this one. As the water passes through the system, incoming sewage, we have a cutter here that cuts down the bigger particles into smaller ones. And it also has a screen which filters out the solid material. As you can see, these are the solid materials, and the water moves through the channel. This is the motor which rotates and cuts down the solid matter. Then we can use grift chamber. Okay, so this is kind of sedimentation basin. As you can see, as the water tries to move through, we have a channel here where the solid material gets deposited here. Okay, and the water, this is a wear, like a structure, this one, like this. So the water moves, overflow the wear, leaving behind the solid material. Are you following me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We can use a skimming tank, a skimming tank, where, as you can see, the water enters. You have a baffle here. Baffle means like this, a structure, baffle. And what happens that if you have oil and grease, they float at the top surface of the water. Am I right? Oil and grease. So they are floating at the top, as you can see. So water will pass through beneath the baffle, Oil and grease will remain at the top. These are the oil and grease. These are the oil and grease. And the water will be at the bottom. So you have a pipe here, an outlet, where the water will pass through, leaving behind the oils and grease. So this is called a skimming tank. That means you are separating oil and grease from the water. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
So these are all preparatory treatment. And then let's look at the primary treatment. Here, in primary treatment, our objective is to remove settleable and suspended solid. That is the smaller particles. In preparatory treatment, we remove the coarse or bigger particle. In primary treatment, we remove the suspended and smaller particle, which can be a sedimentation tank, a septic tank, or an imhoff tank. So if you look at the primary treatment of sewage, this is a regular sedimentation tank. Okay. These are the sedimentation theory. We already discussed this in our class in 331. Okay. So this is primary treatment, sedimentation tank, septic tank, and imhoff tank. Okay. So we discussed preparatory treatment, primary treatment, and then secondary treatment. So in this step, we further treat the water. We try to make the water further treated, better pollution free. And we use stabilization pond, trickling filter, or activated sludge to remove. What do you do here in secondary treatment? To remove or stabilize organic settleable solids, mainly through biological process. You know that sewage contains a massive amount of organic matter. And how do we measure organic matter, guys? How do we measure, or which parameter, water quality parameter we use to determine organic matter? Which parameter we use to determine organic matter, guys? Huh? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Organic matter, basically, if thrown into water, they have a demand for oxygen. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Because microorganisms, majority of the organic matters which are biodegradable, microorganisms Microorganisms in the presence of oxygen break down this organic matter, which is a carbon-carbon hydrogen long chain, to carbon dioxide, water, and other stable products, plus new cell, that means new bacteria and virus. New cells and also basically bacteria, also algae and others. So oxygen is consumed during this process, right? So how do we measure organic matter, guys? Using what water quality parameter? Huh? Like in the presence of we measure the presence of suspended matter in water using turbidity. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then how do we measure what parameter we use to know the amount of organic matter? Hmm? Anyone? Anyone? Go to the previous lecture and find it out. Your notebooks and something else if you can find. I'm giving you 1 minute here. Please find out what water quality parameter we use to determine the amount of organic matter. Go to your class notes and find it out, please. Faimal Hassan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead and find out. Urmi, Arif, Sifat Ali, Hasibul. Everyone, please go to your class notes and find out. Baizid, Monirujjaman, Alif,
Yes, sir.
Murshadul, Amir Hassan, Umme Samia. Everyone, please go ahead. Did you get it, guys? Did you get it? Whoever will be able to find out this value, I'll give. This is a test. I'll give that person bonus mark. So if you want to get a bonus mark, then you go there, your class notes, and find it out.
স্যার কোশ্চেনটা আবার বলা যাবে?
Which water quality parameter we use to determine the amount of organic matter in water? So no one is able to get the bonus marks. Huh?
Sir, oxygen demand.
Huh? Say it again. Say it again.
Sir, oxygen demand.
Oxygen demand. And you're close, but not still at the right point. You're close, very close.
Sir, biochemical,
Say it again.
biochemical oxygen demand,
Biochemical oxygen demand. And then what else? Biochemical oxygen demand. And then what else, guys? So Hasib told oxygen demand. That is close. Umme Samia told BOD. That means biochemical oxygen demand, right? Huh? Umme
G
Samia?
sir, G sir,
So we use BOD and COD, am I right?
Yes,
BOD
sir.
is for biodegradable organic matter and COD is for carbonaceous. That means chemical oxygen demand. All the carbonaceous organic matter. So I already discussed in detail about this BOD and COD. So it should be able to answer this question. So I'll give you Hasibul Islam and Umme Samia some bonus marks.
Thank you, sir.
thank you sir.
So this is let me write it down, otherwise I will forget this. Okay, so Hasibul is roll number 14, right?
Yes, sir.
And Umme Samia is roll number 9, am I right?
G sir,
Okay, let's come back to the point now. So BOD and COD. So here in organic matter, we are trying to in this secondary treatment of wastewater, secondary treatment, we use stabilization pond, we use trickling filter, we use activated sludge. All of these methods, we try to reduce BOD. In all of these methods, we try to reduce BOD. That means biodegradable organic matter. And what we use here is that we use microorganisms, guys. Microorganisms to treat the water. That means we leverage or utilize these microorganisms to help us to treat the organic matter. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Because you can clearly see that this organic matter can be broken down into simple carbon dioxide and water. By whom? By microorganisms. If this oxidation process this breaking down of this complex organic matter process happens in the presence of oxygen. Ah, then this is called aerobic. But sometimes this process can also happen in the absence of oxygen. So, in the absence of oxygen. So, here you have microorganisms. Okay, then it may produce methane and others. And this is anaerobic. So, one is aerobic, the presence of oxygen, another one is anaerobic, the absence of oxygen. Now, this anaerobic process produces bad smell, bad odor. Okay, so we may not prefer this always. So, in summary, we use microorganisms. The microorganisms help us in this process to remove the organic settleable solid. And since we are using microorganisms to treat the water, so this is called biological wastewater treatment. Biological wastewater treatment. Why biological? Because you are involving microorganisms in this process. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then after the secondary treatment, we can go for the sludge treatment that is produced during the secondary treatment process to destroy organic matters and to remove excess water for ease in handling and disposal. The common methods are sludge digestion, sludge dewatering and drying, and sludge conditioning and dewatering. That means the sludge that we are talking about that contains a lot of water, and this water increases the volume of the sludge. Okay, so we try to reduce the volume of the sludge by removing the water or by dewatering for the ease of handling and disposal. So that's why it's called dewatering. Then you can also use microorganisms to treat this sludge because this sludge is also organic matter. Not 100%, but majority of them. Then we have sludge disposal. We can dispose it to the sea for the further dilation. We can incinerate this, that means পুড়িয়ে ফেলা, and we may even get energy from this, and sometimes we may dispose it on land like solid wastes. And the treated effluent that can be disposed into the sea or coastal waters for the dilution process, and then we can also use this for irrigation on land because this effluent still contains VOD, reduced VOD, but it still contains VOD, which can be used as a fertilizer on the land. Did I make it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, we will discuss in detail about this secondary treatment, this process. And this is basically what? This is basically biological treatment of wastewater. So we involve whom, guys, in biological treatment? Whom do we involve in this biological treatment process? Whom do we involve? Huh? Whom do we involve in biological treatment process? Whom do we involve in this biological treatment process? This is the biological treatment, right? So whom are we involving in here? The microorganisms, right? The microorganisms.
Yes, sir.
So we need to know about the microorganisms. So let's go to the microorganisms here. So microbiology of sewage. Okay. Guys, turn on your webcam, please. Everyone. Turn on your webcam, please. At this stage, I would like to take the attendance again. Hmm. How many do we have? Who is not here? Let's see. Sanwar Hossein is here. Baijid Ahmed. Baijid Ahmed, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Hasibul,
Yes, sir.
Tasnim Shuchana,
Yes, sir.
Shoikot,
Ten, sir.
হৃদয়, ফাহিমাল কায়সার, তুহিন। তুহিন আছো না? তুহিন আছো? তুহিন? তুহিন নাই? ওকে, সো তুহিন নাই। হৃদয় আছো? হৃদয়? মেহেদি হাসান হৃদয়? নাই। উম্মে সামিয়া, আলিফ,
Sir.
আলিফ,
Yes, sir.
মনিরুজ্জামান, মনিরুজ্জামান নাই। আমাতুল ফাতেমা নাই। তারেক মাহমুদ নাই। সিফাত আলী,
Yes, sir.
নুরশাদুল আসছে মনে হয় না? আচ্ছা, নুরশাদুল আছে। সিফাত আলী আছো?
Yes, sir.
আচ্ছা। মাহবুবুল হক,
Yes, sir.
ফাহিম আল হাসান,
Yes, sir.
আমির হাসান,
Yes, sir.
উর্মি।
Yes, sir.
আচ্ছা, ঠিক আছে। তো ওয়েবক্যাম গুলো সবাই অন রাখো, হ্যাঁ, ক্লাসের সময়। আবার বলি তোমাদের, ওকে, এটা আমি ক্লাসের পরে অ্যানাউন্স করে দেব। তো So microbiology of sewage, okay. A large number of microorganisms of various types is present in sewage and wastewater. কি ধরনের microorganisms? The microorganisms important in biological treatment of sewage and wastewater are bacteria. This is the number one, bacteria. Are you following me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Then fungi, then algae, protozoa, rotifiers, crustaceans, and viruses. Okay, the microorganisms can be autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophic is like who can produce their food from the energy of the from the sun, and heterotrophic they cannot directly produce their food. They have to rely on the autotrophic living beings or biota, right? Now bacteria, the range of atmospheric uh, environment or environmental condition that they are comfortable is this. Think about us as human. We have an optimum temperature. Optimum temperature. And this is like 22 to 28. If the temperature is below this value, like 10 degrees Celsius, you feel cold, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is not good for us. Again, if the temperature is higher than this value, like 32 or 35, you feel cold, right? So
Yes, sir.
both way is a problem. So this is the optimum temperature range where you are most comfortable. So similarly for the bacteria, they have a comfortable range of temperature, and there are different types of bacteria like cryophilic, mesophilic, and thermophilic. So mesophilic, cryophilic bacteria, the optimum range of their functioning is 12 to 18 degrees Celsius. For mesophilic, this is 25 to 40 degrees Celsius. For thermophilic, this is 55 to 65 degrees Celsius. So this is the optimum temperature. Apart from the temperature, they also have a comfortable pH range, like 6.5 to 8.5. Okay, so if you want to use them in the biological wastewater treatment process, you need to ensure their comfortable environment. If you can ensure their comfortable environment with food, food means this organic matter, then they will utilize this and they will grow in number, and therefore your treatment will be performed. Wastewater treatment or sewage treatment. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
For fungi, there are different types of fungi. Then algae. Algae is an autotrophic microorganism. They can produce their food through the process of photosynthesis. Then we have protozoa. we have rotifiers, we have crustaceans, we have viruses. We have pathogenic organisms which can cause disease, right? Like typhoid fever, Bacillus typhi is caused by Bacillus typhi. Uh, Cholera fever is caused by Vibrio coma. Mm. So anyway, so basically these are the fungi and algae and microorganisms that we use that helps us in wastewater treatment. If you look at the bacterial growth pattern, if you look at the bacterial growth pattern, let's take a glass of water. Put some food here, organic matter. Put some food here. Are you following me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Like
Sir.
10 gram organic matter. At time t equals to 0, there was very little organic microorganisms. For example, these are the microorganisms, red color, okay? You cannot see them always through your naked eyes, but for the illustration, I'm showing them like this. At time t equals to 0, this is time t. This is number of microorganisms. At time t equal to 0, microorganisms may be 10 unit. At time at 2, microorganisms will increase because they got food, right? So it will increase. Am I right? When there
Yes.
is 5, it may be 150 unit. So you see they are increasing in number. With time, the number of microbes, that means n, there is increasing with time. This is called lag phase. Now, first a lag phase is exhibited in which the bacteria become adjusted to the substrate, that means the food and the surrounding physical and environmental condition. So in this step, there are very few microorganisms. They came new here, so they are getting adjusted with the environment. So there will be growth of bacteria, but the growth is not that high. As you can see, the growth is moderate, is rate. Now, after some time, when the bacteria, the microorganisms are well accustomed with the surrounding environment and they have enough food, what will happen? There will be a surge of bacterial growth. Boom. High growth of bacteria. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Called
sir.
log
Yes,
phase.
sir.
Then the stationary phase. Soon the growth is restricted by non-availability of food. Remember, you put here only 10 gram food and no further food was allowed. Now bacteria has grown in number. They need more food. Are they getting more food? No, the food is limited and the food has been consumed. So what would happen? The food has been reduced per unit bacteria. So growth is almost zero here. No growth. You see, with time, there is no growth. No growth. Just horizontal line. Did I make it clear?
Yes.
Then after this time, they are not getting food for a long time. What would happen? The bacteria will start dying. Microorganisms will decay. So this is called decay phase. Okay, this is the decay phase. Did I make it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you had added food at this step, then the curve would have been like this, right? Because you didn't put up provide any food here, so curve is like this now. So clearly you can see here your wastewater treatment will not be in better efficiency, reduced efficiency. The efficiency of the biological wastewater treatment will be reduced here, right? Here the efficiency of the biological wastewater treatment is higher because more and more organic matter are being used. That means m- more and more this reaction is taking place. That means more and more organic matter is being breaking down. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So this is important, okay? Understand this very well with the figure, the bacterial growth pattern. So we will continue from here on the next class, inshallah. Any question, guys? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, then thank you very much. Have a good one and stay safe.